I teach people that we must be obedient to God in the footsteps of Jesus, and because of that, I get an awful lot of nasty comments. I thought about calling this person out directly, but honestly, people that leave comments like this really don't have any interest in the truth. This person said, "I can tell you have a problem with eating. Why did you tell me to obey when you can overeat?" And as sad as it is from people that call themselves Christians, I get comments like this pretty frequently. People will say, "Well, you're obviously a fat glutton, so you're not being obedient to God." Normally, I use 1 Peter 3:9 with comments like this: "Don't repay evil with evil or reviling with reviling." But I get it enough that I should probably address it, because what is biblical gluttony? Is it something that you think would be obvious? And the real question here is, just because someone's fat, does it mean that they're gluttonous? Growing up, one of my best friends was skinny as a rail. He was like 130 pounds, no matter what he did. We would go to Domino's, and he would get the 555 deal, 3 medium pizzas. He would eat all of them in one sitting. Now me, always being more weight than he was, I would only eat 3 or 4 pieces. So let me ask you a question. Is the skinny person that eats 3 pizzas a glutton? Or is the fat person that eats 3 slices of pizza a glutton? Perhaps you're judging these situations with your eyes when you shouldn't be. 1 Samuel 16, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on his height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart." John 7, "Do not judge by appearances, but judge with right judgment." 2 Corinthians 5, "We are not commending ourselves to you again, but giving you cause to boast about us, so that you may be able to answer those who boast about outward appearance and not about what is in the heart." Matthew 23, "So you also outwardly appear righteous to others, but within you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness." I'm definitely overweight, but that does not make me or anyone else that's overweight a glutton. And just because someone's skinny, it doesn't mean they are not a glutton. And in 99 out of 100 situations, if you don't know that person personally, you have absolutely no right to judge them based on their outward appearance. And just to really drive this home, I want to give you guys an example. Let's see what The Rock is cooking. If you put me and The Rock right next to each other and ask 100 Christians, 1,000 Christians, 1,000,000 Christians, which one is the glutton, I guarantee you that the vast majority of you would say that I'm the glutton. Look at The Rock. He's in shape. He can't possibly be a glutton, right? Let's examine that real quick. This is an article about what The Rock eats daily and weekly, and it says he needs to eat at least 5,000 calories a day. The Rock eats 5 to 7 high-protein meals per day. This is an example of his daily meal plan. His first meal, breakfast, steak, eggs, brown rice, sautéed vegetables. His second mid-morning meal, usually fish, sweet potatoes, vegetables. His third meal, the lunch meal, chicken, rice, vegetables. His fourth meal, more fish, rice, vegetables, fish oil. His late afternoon meal, another steak, baked potatoes, spinach salad. His first dinner, another piece of fish, more rice, another salad. And his second dinner, egg white, omelet, vegetables, fish oil, whey protein. You can believe me or not, but I have never in my life eaten 7 meals a day. In fact, most days I may only eat 2. I usually only eat dinner. Whether you want to believe me or not, this is pretty excessive for a daily meal routine. But this isn't the crazy part. Let's talk about The Rock's cheat day, which is usually every Sunday. The Rock states that these cheat days are extreme because this day is earned. Cheat days usually involve 12 pancakes with peanut butter and syrup, 3 to 4 double dough pizzas, a box of donuts, sushi, pasta, bagels, 2 Big Daddy burgers with the works, French fries, and plenty of desserts. Me and my wife combined don't eat this much food in an entire week. And I know what someone's going to say if you've made it this far in the video. They're going to be like, The Rock has to eat that much to maintain his muscle mass. And I agree, he does. But is vanity a good reason to justify gluttony? Now, for the record, I don't have the right to call The Rock a glutton, and neither do any of you. But I want to present this information so you can see and put hand in hand that perhaps what you're seeing with your eyes may not match what the person's actually doing with their life. There are plenty of skinny people and people that are in shape that are gluttons, and there's plenty of fat people that aren't. Now, I'm not saying there aren't overweight people out there that are gluttons. I'm sure there's some out there. But it doesn't mean every single person that's overweight is a glutton. And it most certainly doesn't mean that you, as a Christian, have the right to say anything to that person about that, whether you know them or not. If it is obvious, you know somebody that's eaten 4 boxes of Oreos and 6 meals of McDonald's a day, maybe you should bring that up with them. But most people aren't like that. I simply have a job that requires me to sit and drive all the time. And the free time that I have is not spent at the gym. It's spent following up with my online ministry, taking care of my family, taking care of my pets, my house, my yard. I don't have time to do those kinds of things. So if I eat a 700 calorie meal, I'm probably not burning 700 calories in a day, so I'm gaining weight. But does that make me a glutton? By now, I hope you should realize that the answer to that question is no, probably not. But either way, you don't know me. It's none of your business. Whether I'm a glutton or not is between me and God. But you shouldn't go around calling yourself a Christian and calling out people on the internet simply because they don't like what you're teaching. Or you don't like what they're teaching. Whatever. But if you guys want to keep slandering and making fun of people that you don't know on the internet, that's going to be between you and God on Judgment Day. And I know a lot of Christians think that they're not going to go through Judgment Day, even though the Bible tells us that Judgment Day starts with the believers. Whatever. Either way, you're going to have to answer for every single thing you say. Matthew 12, Jesus says, I tell you, on the day of judgment, people will give an account for every careless word they speak. For by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. That doesn't really sound like once saved, always saved to me, but hey, you guys do whatever you want with this. Either way, Jesus says you're going to make an account for every single idle word you speak, and that should terrify you. I know it terrifies me because I've said many idle words in my life, and even now, trying to avoid it, I still do it sometimes. But I most certainly don't call myself a Christian and then go around on the internet making fun of people. And this is between you and God, but I highly suggest that you try not to do that either. Proverbs 6, these are 6 things the Lord hates. 7 are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue, a hand that sheds innocent blood, a heart that devises wicked plans, feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among brothers. I've met a lot of people that call themselves Christians that do these things. And if you're a Christian, you should probably try to limit doing it. I'm just saying. And you should do yourself a big favor to help keep from making an account of all the idle words that may condemn you. Make sure that you're not judging people based on their outward appearance, but that you're judging them based on what the Bible says, what Jesus says, what God says, what the prophet says, and perhaps try and be more like Jesus. And I highly doubt Jesus walked around making fun of people that were overweight.